This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, hope you're all having a great day. Now, I want to give you all a quick update for Robert Joshua, who is, of course, the father of Anthony Joshua, who was seen blasting at Eddie Hearn last Saturday night after Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. And, of course, I did a video on it, and that was very, very popular, where a lot of people were giving like their opinions on it. I was giving my opinions on it all, of course, as well. And since then, we've had a bit of an update as to what really happened. And there's two different sources, and I'll put both sources in the description box. One of them, of course, is Eddie Hearn on IFL TV. Most of you guys would have probably already seen that one anyway. Whether you take from what Eddie Hearn says or not, it kind of is what it is, where Eddie Hearn has said that Robert, he did have a go at Frank Smith and that as well, and other people. He could have been acting on emotion because his son AJ just lost. Apparently he was unhappy with AJ's preparation, such as where he was staying in the house, the chef, things like that. So I'm presuming because people heard him talk about the chef, people were saying food poisoning. They put chef and something else together, come up with food poisoning. Apparently he didn't have food poisoning, and the house, apparently AJ likes to stay in a house rather than hotel, which is kind of fair enough. I mean, I'm kind of the same. I'd rather, when I go abroad and everything, I'd rather stay in a riad or something like that rather than in a hotel. So certain things were wrong. Of course, there's been lots of rumours that Joshua was having a panic attack before the fight, and that's what Robert was having to go at Eddie Hearn for. People at ringside heard Robert saying to Joshua, why wasn't you shouting at the referee to tell him that the fight's not over? All things like that. And of course, Anthony said to his dad, no dad, it's me, I'm the fighter. In other words, taking the blame off himself, don't blame anybody else. Anyway, the other one is Steve Bunce. Now, many of you guys will know Steve Bunce. He's been around the boxing game for a long, long time now. And he was in the arena on last Saturday night when Anthony Joshua was fighting Andy Ruiz, and he was doing the punditry work for BBC Sport. I believe he still works for BT Sport as well, doesn't he? And I know he definitely was on Box Nation as well. Anyway, and I'll put the article for Steve Bunce, where Steve Bunce went into some detail on certain things and his own speculation on it as well. And he actually caught up with Robert Joshua, who asked him, do you want to come on air, have a talk about it, etc., where Robert declined the invite and just said, no, everything's fine, AJ will be back. Okay, but again, what can you really read into that? I mean, for me, I think that Robert, obviously, he's not going to go on air and start blasting people because maybe he doesn't know all the full facts himself. Was he in the changing room with AJ? We don't know. How much of the camp did he know about? We don't know. Obviously, AJ is only going to tell his dad what he wants to tell his dad. It's all that kind of thing. But Robert was saying that everything's fine and AJ will be back. But Steve Bunce is going into things saying that he believes that there's something else, he's just holding back. And the reason that maybe Robert is holding back is because he doesn't want to get anybody in trouble. He doesn't want to rock any kind of boats. But either way, I think that Robert was clearly angry. But as Eddie Hearn said, it just happened to be that the cameras were pointing in that particular moment at Eddie Hearn when all that was going on. One of them, of course, was when DAZN were interviewing Andy Ruiz Jr. at the time as well. So they didn't quite catch Robert having to go at Frank Smith and other people. And apparently he was still kicking off after as well in the changing room at certain people. So either way, that is the news. So maybe you guys can read more into it than what I've seen. As I said, I'll put a link to Eddie Hearn's interview in the description box and a link to the article for Steve Bunce as well. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below about it as to what you believe and what you've heard for the reasons as to why Robert Joshua, Anthony Joshua's dad, was having a go at Eddie Hearn and various other people. Was it just an emotion as a father would react, or is there a lot more to it? But we're not going to find out because it's not going to fit with the storyline of the comeback, which already we're starting to hear about the comeback. You get knocked down, you rise up, you carry on forward, which of course is a great inspiration for a lot of people. So for me, I don't blame them. If there is something wrong or was something wrong, I don't blame them for keeping it under wraps personally and going with that storyline because it is motivating for a lot of people. A lot of people need those kind of influences. So anyway, that's my thoughts. As I said, both sources in the description box. Go give them a read, click the thumbs up to this video, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.